Good afternoon, everyone. We would like to welcome everyone to the Embassy of India in Japan for today's event, Enhancing Critical Mineral Security India-Japan Partnership. To begin today's program, we'd like to invite His Excellency Mr. C.B. George, Ambassador of India to Japan, to deliver the inaugural remarks.
Good afternoon, everybody. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the seminar on enhancing critical mineral security India-Japan partnership. I extend my sincere thanks to our participants from Ministry of Mines, Government of India, Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, METI of Japan, industry leaders, experts in the critical mineral sector for joining us today. Your presence reflects the shared commitment of India and Japan to strengthen supply chain resilience in this strategic domain. As we move towards a greener and more technologically advanced world, critical minerals have become indispensable for energy transition, advanced manufacturing, and national security. From lithium-ion batteries and semiconductor manufacturing to renewable energy technologies and electric vehicles, critical minerals form the backbone of modern economies. However, the concentration of mining, processing, and refining in a few geographies poses significant risks to global supply chains. India is quickly becoming a key player in global supply chains, backed by a series of economic reforms, better infrastructure, and a rapidly growing digital landscape. In recent years, we have made great strides in transforming the country into an indispensable and dependable, attractive hub of manufacturing with a business environment that is competitive, transparent, and welcoming to investors. One of India's greatest strengths is its commitment to building a business-friendly environment based on trust, transparency, and stability. Investors globally are increasingly looking for reliable partners to diversify their supply chains, and India offers that assurance. A country that not only provides manufacturing and technological capability, but also operates with a governance structure rooted in democratic values and rule of law. Now, turning to the topic of critical minerals, it is clear that these resources are critical for the future of high-tech industries and green technologies. As this audience is well aware, critical minerals have moved from being niche resources to strategic assets for key sectors such as energy, defense, and telecom. Surging global demand for these items, coupled with increasing supply chain risks, has highlighted the need for securing resilient and diversified supply chains. Many here have likely faced this challenge firsthand at some point. The concentration of extraction and processing of critical minerals in a few regions of the world presents significant risks. As we seek to build resilient supply chains, we must promote cooperation between countries that uphold transparency, trust, and rule-based systems. Partnerships that involve like-minded countries with shared values will ensure a stable supply and minimize disruptions in global markets. India is uniquely positioned to play a critical role in this context. Our comprehensive strategy focuses on domestic exploration, promoting sustainable recycling practices, and building international partnerships. These efforts align with our broader goals of economic growth, energy transition, and industrial resilience. Let me take a few moments to highlight some of the key steps India has taken to secure critical mineral supplies. In 2023, India identified 30 minerals essential to our economy, which serve as the foundation of our critical mineral strategy. We are making concerted efforts in exploration, having doubled the number of exploration projects over the past 3 years. This list guides our policy formulation and strategic planning in the mining sector. Key legislative reforms have opened the doors for private sector participation in critical mineral mining. The 2023 amendments to the Minerals and Mines Development and Regulation Act introduced new opportunities for private and foreign investment, especially for minerals such as lithium, beryllium, and rare earth elements. In addition to domestic reforms, India launched the National Critical Minerals Mission earlier this year, which addresses the entire value chain from production to recycling, acquisition of overseas assets, trade, and workforce development. This year, the Union Cabinet, chaired by Honorable Prime Minister, has approved the launch of National Critical Mineral Mission with an expenditure of 16,300 crore rupees and an expected investment of rupees 18,000 crores by PSUs and other entities. Ladies and gentlemen, India has significantly expanded its global engagement on critical minerals. Under our G20 presidency, we proposed high-level guiding principles to accelerate the development of the global value chain for critical minerals. Our involvement in international collaborations such as the Mineral Security Partnership, which we joined last year, is a major part of this effort. Critical minerals are also priority in India-US initiatives on critical and emerging technology and are a major focus within the Quad discussions, where a private sector-led Quad Investors Network has been launched to promote investments in strategic technologies, including critical minerals. We are exploring acquisition of overseas assets and are in discussions with our partners, including Australia and Argentina. I would like to leave the rest to my colleagues who would be making presentations today. Once again, I welcome each one of you for joining us today for this seminar. Once again, my congratulations to the team which has put together this important seminar. Thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you, Ambassador Sir, for your opening remarks. Next, we'd like to invite Mr. Dinesh Mahur, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Mines, Government of India, for his virtual presentation.
Am I audible? Thank you, His Excellency Ambassador of India to Japan, dignitaries from METI and other government organizations in Japan, industry partners, and research scientists from various institutes and organizations. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening. I am very happy to see representatives from prominent companies from Japan and representatives from several research organizations apart from representatives from Japanese government. This highlights the priorities set for enhancing critical mineral security. I'm thankful to Indian Embassy in Japan to organize this conference and giving me this opportunity to discuss this high priority area with such an august audience. India-Japan relations date back to long period, and we cannot forget the support extended by Japan during our freedom struggle. Today's topic for discussion is also signifies the partnership between two countries in the field of critical minerals. Critical minerals such as lithium, graphite, cobalt, rare earth elements form the backbone of modern energy transition technologies. These minerals are indispensable for achieving global energy goals, including India's nationally determined contributions for climate change. Limited domestic explored reserves, like we don't know that how many reserves are there, but exploration is going on. So at present the domestic reserves are limited to explored of these critical resources, and concentration of their processing in a few regions worldwide pose significant challenges. These supply chain vulnerabilities underscore the urgent need for strategic action to secure a steady and sustainable supply of critical minerals. Recognize the pivotal role of these minerals in energy transition, emerging technologies, etc. India has taken several initiatives with an aim to address supply chain challenges, reduce import dependence, and establish India as a key player in global critical mineral ecosystem. These steps include amendments to existing legislations, identification of set of critical minerals for India, prioritizing the exploration and mining activities, and so on. Geological Survey of India, which is an attached office of Ministry of Mines, Government of India, has launched National Geoscience Data Repository (NGDR) portal, which hosts all exploration related to geoscientific data, which can be accessed by anyone. Japanese companies can have a look on this data for the discovery of potential areas for critical minerals. Ministry has also focused on funding various projects of exploration and mining through National Mineral Exploration Trust. We are also funding startups and small companies for R&D projects related to critical mineral sector. We have created a company named Khanis Badesh India Limited for overseas activities in this sector. As we know that supply of critical minerals is vulnerable to geopolitical risks, trade restrictions, and limited domestic availability, one country's dominance in global supply chain poses additional challenges, making diversification of sources an urgent necessity. Both India and Japan have recognized the importance of reducing dependency on single source supplier, and there is a lot of scope where both the countries can work together. We can also leverage the existing platforms like Quad, MSP, IPEF, or have bilateral arrangements. In this regard, we have also shared an MOU on cooperation in geology, mineral resources, and energy, which also include cooperation in critical mineral sector with Japan, and hope to receive the comments from Japanese side soon so that we can finalize the MOU and form joint working group for better coordination and planning. Additionally, both countries can also plan to invest in critical mineral assets in resource-rich countries, either through MSP or independently. We can also facilitate connecting our Indian companies to have collaborations for acquiring such assets. As you are aware that we have launched, Excellency Ambassador also touched upon, the National Critical Mineral Mission. We will provide various kind of support for exploration and acquisition of critical mineral assets abroad under this mission. I suggest the participant industry representatives present here and researchers, all stakeholders to unite and tackle the pressing challenges in critical mineral sector. Only through collaboration and innovation we can ensure sustainable growth and security for generations to come. So because today's highlight is National Critical Mineral Mission, so we have a small presentation on Critical Mineral Mission. We will briefly run through the points, highlights of our National Critical Mineral Mission. Next slide, please. Can you go to the next slide? Okay. Yeah, thank you. The critical minerals have been defined by countries based on their own requirement. Like in India, we say critical minerals are which are essential for the economic development and national security, and lack of availability of these minerals and concentration of existence, extraction, or processing of these minerals in few geographical locations may lead to supply chain vulnerabilities and disruptions. So most of the critical minerals are at present imported in India, and our ambassador told that we have included a list of 30 critical minerals, out of which we have identified 24 critical minerals which have been kept as part of our legislation. So I understand that Japan has 31 critical minerals, and we see that we have 18 critical minerals common in the list. Next slide. So why critical minerals are important? As we all know, it is integral part of energy transition. Like green technologies like solar panels, wind turbines, batteries, they are integral to the transition towards clean energy and low carbon technologies. Then economic development industries like high-tech electronics, telecommunication, transport are heavily rely on these minerals. In case of national security, these minerals are vital for defense, aerospace, nuclear and space applications. And last but not the least, agriculture, the fertilizer minerals like phosphate, gluconite, etc. are important for agriculture sector for manufacturing of the fertilizers. So we have made some commitments for climate change, like to reduce emissions intensity of our GDP by 45% by 2030 from the 2005 level. Then we are committed to achieve 50% cumulative electric power installed capacity from non-fossil fuel-based energy resources by 2030 and achieving net zero by 2070. Next page. Like we were talking about that we are heavily dependent on imports for the critical minerals. In case of lithium, cobalt and nickel and potash, we are 100% import dependent. In case of graphite, 25%, phosphorus 85%, and there are other critical minerals are also imported. And if we see the top producers, they are not top producers, are not concentrated. They are diverse. Producers of ores are diverse. Next, please. So in India, we face key challenges like geographical concentration of extraction and processing. In the last slide, we have seen that the production of critical mineral ore is quite diverse, but the extraction and processing technologies are concentrated. That is the major issue, which lead to supply chain vulnerabilities as we faced in the recent time, and now also we are facing some issues. The challenges in overseas investment, we can see that many of these critical mineral producing countries are the countries where there are some local issues, or they are prone to geopolitics influence. So there is a challenge to make investment by the private companies in those countries. That other most important thing is recycling. India is a big country and produces lots of electronic waste. We are not able to completely recycle it. That if we are able to recycle it, the complete the electronic waste, we should be able to fulfill our around 15 to 20% critical mineral demand. Then again, though we have invested quite some efforts and funds in R&D in processing and recycling, but still we have not developed the commercial level technology. If we see the reform undertaken by us, we have started auction in 2015 and focus on auction of critical minerals from last 2-3 years. We have successfully auctioned 24 blocks of critical mineral, and 15 are under process of tendering. Then elimination of import duty. Most of the critical mineral import is duty free as on date. Then access to legacy data, as I have talked about that NGDR portal, that data is publicly available and anybody can access and plan the exploration and mining. We have also started offshore exploration, and already some blocks are under tendering process. Out of which 7 are in Andaman Sea, which are polymetallic nodules, which contains several critical minerals. Then overseas exploration project we have started. We are in talk with Australia. We have started in Argentina. In increasing domestic production through exploration, auction, and mining. Then I have talked about earlier that National Mineral Exploration Trust, which is a fund created for exploration of the mineral ability of minerals. And now we are focusing on the critical mineral assets through this fund. Then last but not the least is the critical mineral mission, which has been approved around a month back. Next, please. So the MMDR, that is Mines and Mineral Development and Regulation Act, which was enacted initially in 1957, was undergone major amendment during 2023 with reference to the critical minerals. So this is the Umbrella Act for regulation of mining activities, onshore mining activities in India. So we have identified 24 critical and strategic minerals which have been kept part of our legislation. Then we have shifted 6 minerals from the list of atomic minerals. Atomic minerals mining is restricted. So with certain percentage of that atomic activities, we have exempted from the atomic minerals, and 6 like lithium, titanium, beryl, niobium, tantalum, and zirconium, we have shifted from the atomic minerals to the critical minerals, which is part of the 24 critical minerals in our act. Then to expedite the auction process and mining, central government, the federal government, has been empowered to conduct the auction of these critical minerals. And in order to enhance the participation of private companies, a new kind of license, namely exploration license, has been introduced. Earlier, only composite license will include the exploration as well as mining, and another was mining license. Depending upon the level of exploration, these licenses were issued. This OAMDR Act, that is Offshore Area Mineral Development and Regulation Act. The previous act was onshore regulation of the onshore mineral and minings, and this is for the offshore. So in offshore also we have introduced the method of auction for allocation of the mineral blocks, and we have launched the first tranche of auction in mineral block, which contains 13 blocks, and the 7 blocks includes the polymetallic nodules, which consist of the critical minerals like REE, nickel, cobalt, etc. Next. So, if we see the efforts by the government of India, in the last year budget, the custom duty on most of the critical minerals was eliminated, and during the present budget, the government has exempted cobalt powder and waste and the scrap of lithium ion battery, lead, zinc, and thermal critical minerals. This will help secure their availability for the manufacturing sector in India. Next. So it was not that the government was not working previously on the critical mineral or not sensitized about the vulnerabilities in the supply chain of critical minerals. But National Critical Mineral Mission is to give the concentrated efforts to this sector. So this mission targets the domestic production, recycling of critical minerals, and overseas acquisition of critical mineral assets. Its mandates will include technology development, skilled workforce, extended producer responsibility framework, and suitable financing mechanisms. Next. The objective of the NCMM is to secure India's critical mineral supply chain by ensuring mineral availability from domestic and foreign sources, strengthening the value chains by enhancing technological, regulatory, and financial ecosystems to foster innovation, skill development, and global competitiveness in mineral exploration, mining, beneficiation, processing, and recycling. Our mission has 7 important components. If we talk about the first component is enhancing domestic production. The efforts in this will include enhanced exploration, auctions, mining, and processing technologies. We have also planned to set up the processing parks for which funds have been allocated in the mission. Second is foreign asset acquisition. We have already started the activities but is there any trouble on side? Is it okay? Okay. Okay, thank you. So recycling is very, very important, and if we can jointly develop some technologies so that we are able to extract, if not 100%, 99 point some percent from that. Right now, lots of the recycling is done in the form of that black mass is exported to other countries for processing. Trade and markets, we are trying to incorporate special chapters, separate chapters on critical minerals in the trade agreements. R&D activities, we are doing a lot, and together with other partners like Japan, we can further enhance our efforts. For skilling, we are also focusing to skill the manpower in the resource-rich countries where the skilling deficit is there. Like in some countries where resources are there, African countries, but skill are not there. We have factored in those components also in our mission. Then fiscal incentives, different kind of fiscal incentives for recycling or for exploration or for risk mitigation for us, foreign asset acquisition, etc. Next slide, please. So as we talked about that, we have created a special purpose vehicle, that is Kabil. Kabil is Khaniz Vikas India Limited. Khaniz is Hindi name, Indian name of mineral. So they have acquired a project of lithium brine blocks located in Catamarca province in Argentina. So Kabil has also signed MOU with Critical Mineral Office, Department of Industry, Science and Resources, Government of Australia in March 2022. Due diligence of projects for selection of lithium and cobalt projects for investment by Kabil through takeoff arrangement has started. Then we have another company, NMDC, and its subsidiary Legacy Iron Ore Limited is also exploring developing mineral resources project in Western Australia. Then one private company, Greenco, they have acquired some mineral blocks in Argentina. Another company, Altamine, has acquired some blocks in Brazil. So, though His Excellency Ambassador has talked about the facilitating or congenial conditions for investment in India, at the courts of repetition, I'll repeat some. Like ease of doing business is improving in India, has improved a lot over past 1 decade. Then the licenses, the leases, mining leases are issued, assigned through transparent process of auction, which is a very big advantage. Distinction between captive and non-captive mines removed. It was earlier there, but now in the non-captive, the captive mines also can sell in the commercial market. Then uniformly, the period of mining concession has been kept as 50 years, which is long enough to provide a business case security. Then there are separate freight corridors for easy evacuation of minerals linking up with the PM Gati Shakti. It is a portal which has all the infra projects so that anybody can plan on desktop planning can be done for many things. Major mineral deposits are close to sea coast, boosting export potential. Then FDI in mining is 100% allowed. The private sector allowed in exploration 50% of exploration expenses of composite license holder to be borne by that fund I have talked about, National Mineral Exploration Trust. And transfer of mining concession has also been allowed. There is a faceless regulation of mining in India. Drone surveys for inspection and regulation of mines, and access to legacy data for exploration, as I earlier talked about, NGDR portal. Then mines available through online auctions, we have talked about. And critical mineral also 4 tranches have already been concluded. 5th tranche is in process. If some company want, they can participate in that and future the tenders for critical minerals. Last but not the least, I would like to inform that we are planning to organize international conference on critical minerals during August-September this year. So we would like your participation also in that conference. We will extend the invitations at suitable time. Thank you very much for patient listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your presentation. Next, we would like to show a video presentation on National Critical Mineral Mission.
From financial year 2024-25 to 2030-31, the mission has been allocated 16,300 crore, with an expected investment of 18,000 crore from PSUs and other stakeholders. A strategic plan announced by Finance Minister Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman in the Union Budget of 2024-25.
Critical Mineral Mission. We will set up a critical mineral mission for domestic production, recycling of critical minerals, and overseas acquisition of critical mineral assets. Its mandate will include technology development, skilled workforce, extended producer responsibility framework, and a suitable financing mechanism.
The mission aims to secure India's position as a global leader in critical minerals. Let's take a closer look at the key pillars driving this mission. Increasing domestic critical minerals production. The first pillar focuses on increasing domestic production. In 2024, India auctioned 24 mineral blocks, unlocking valuable resources needed to meet the demands of modern industries. Moreover, 13 offshore mineral blocks were auctioned within India's exclusive economic zone, tapping into the vast potential of offshore resources. The Geological Survey of India has taken up 195 new exploration projects. Also, National Mineral Exploration Trust is supporting the search for critical minerals across the country. Acquisition of critical mineral assets abroad. Through Kabil, a joint venture under the Ministry of Mines, India has formed a partnership with Argentina's Camion to explore lithium deposits in the Catamarca region. This international collaboration strengthens India's position in the global mineral supply chain and ensures access to the minerals essential for emerging technologies. Recycling of critical minerals. India is ramping up the recycling of critical minerals. To encourage this, the government will offer financial incentives and provide guidelines to foster participation in recycling programs. Trade and markets. India is also focusing on strengthening trade relations with resource-rich countries. By negotiating free trade agreements to support the sector, customs duties on various minerals have been eliminated, ensuring smooth access to resources needed for industrial and technological growth. Fostering self-reliance through scientific research and technological advancement for critical minerals. The ministry is actively funding research and development projects for research institutions, startups, and MSMEs working within the mining and mineral sectors. Driving growth and fostering innovation in the industry. Human resource development. The National Critical Mineral Mission also emphasizes human resource development. By launching specialized training programs, scholarships, and internships, India is building a skilled workforce to lead the modernization of its mining sector. Developing effective funding, financing, and fiscal incentives. The government is also providing significant financial support to various components of the mission to ensure that the mining sector receives the resources it needs to grow, innovate, and lead globally. Together, these 7 pillars are setting the stage for a transformed mining sector, one that is sustainable, innovative, and globally competitive. As India moves towards its vision of Viksit Bharat 2047, the mining sector will be a key driver of economic growth and technological advancement, supporting the nation's transformation into a global leader. Let's power India's future with a sustainable and self-reliant approach to critical mineral resources.
Next, we'd like to invite Mr. Yohei Kawasaki, Deputy Director, Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, METI, Government of Japan, to deliver his remarks.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yohei Kawasaki from the Mineral Resources Division from METI, Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry. I'm honored to be invited to today's seminar titled Strengthening Security of Critical Minerals, India-Japan Partnership. Thank you. Although our time is limited, I'd like to introduce Japan's mineral policy and its future direction briefly. Currently, with the advancement of energy transition and digital transformation, the demand for base metals and rare metals is increasing. In particular, copper. We focused on copper and rare metals. Copper is the best metal used in electric vehicles, renewable energy, semiconductors, and data centers. Is seeing expanding demand alongside the full-scale implementation of energy transition and digital transformation. However, production in traditional producing countries has plateaued raising concerns about the tightening global supply chain and demand situation in the near future. Additionally, the procurement and refining of rare metals are dependent on specific countries, and risks such as strengthened export controls by these countries have already become apparent. Regarding the vulnerabilities in the supply chain of these rare metals, we are already taking measures to overcome them based on the Economic Security Act. It is also important to collaborate with other countries to diversify the global supply chain and reduce dependence on specific countries. Utilizing recycled resources, enhancing the function of geogamic, and advancing comprehensive resource diplomacy, including ODA or something, are becoming increasingly important. As necessity for these mineral resources grows, our country has prepared approximately 1.5 billion in financial support for rare metal projects. Additionally, last autumn, in the supplementary budget, we allocated about 1 billion for financial support, specifically for copper for the first time, securing a total government budget of $2.5 billion. We aim to strengthen public-private cooperation between Japan and India. Regarding the cooperation status between Japan and India to date, the Quad, a multilateral framework that includes both countries, has been advancing a practical cooperation in various fields, including high-quality infrastructure and maritime security and education and human resource development toward the realization of a free open Indo-Pacific. It is important to collaborate with the global South countries, including those in Africa and South America, in the critical minerals sector through quadrilateral security. Specifically, we believe it is essential to promote policy coordination among the four countries, collaborate on risk capital supply, such as investment and financing, and strengthen networks between companies and investors to facilitate concrete partnerships. Furthermore, Japanese companies have made significant investment in India across a wide areas. Among these are many companies that could become off-takers for critical minerals, including those in the electric vehicle and semiconductor industries. Therefore, it is crucial for both countries to work together and engage in integrated discussions from upstream to downstream. Involving such off-takers, for example, we could consider the integration of securing battery metals with the battery production. We will continue to explore ways to strengthen the cooperation framework between Japan and India in the critical mineral sector. Japan and India are natural partners, and we hope to continue advancing cooperation between our two countries in various fields. Through today's seminar, I hope that mutual understanding between India and Japan deepens, leading to further development in the mining sector. With that, I would like to conclude my remarks. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your remarks. With this, we would like to conclude today's seminar. On behalf of the Embassy of India in Japan, we would like to thank all the speakers and participants for their valuable time. Please join us for the networking session with refreshments at the foyer just outside the auditorium. Thank you once again.